You say you don't believe in God because you haven't seen him. But have you seen the Big Bang? Have you watched a galaxy form out of nothing? The Bible sounds like a fairy tale to you. But you'd swear the Anunnaki seeded life on Earth? Seriously? And you call yourself rational? Part 1. The absurdity of atheism. When arrogance masquerades as intelligence. There is something strangely ironic about the modern atheist. On one hand, he scoffs at the idea of an eternal creator, an all-powerful, transcendent intelligence who governs the universe. While on the other hand, he accepts without flinching the laughable idea that everything came from nothing. That logic, if it can be called logic, amounts to something like this. There was nothing, and then it exploded. And now we have Mozart, love, black holes, and TikTok. We are told that to believe in God is childish, but apparently believing in random explosions, creating meaning, morality, and beauty is the pinnacle of scientific enlightenment. The truth is quite the opposite. The refusal to believe in God is not rooted in rationality, but in a kind of intellectual rebellion, a prideful insistence that, if I can't understand him fully, he must not exist. But we can't fully understand quantum physics either. That doesn't stop it from being real. Atheists often argue there's no scientific evidence for God, and yet they live every day in a universe governed by mathematical precision, fine-tuning, and cause and effect. They rely on laws, order, and constants. But who authored the laws? Who sustains the order? They see a masterpiece and deny the existence of the artist. A house built from bricks makes them think of the architect, but a galaxy spinning in perfect balance makes them think of nothing. Their position collapses under its own weight. If the human mind is simply a result of blind mutations and meaningless processes, then logic itself is meaningless. Why trust a brain that's supposedly a product of chaos to discover truth? They want to argue against God using reason, but if reason evolved by accident, then it's not trustworthy. The atheist argument self-destructs. Worse still, they mock believers as primitive, yet they often believe in alien civilizations, like the Anunnaki, who might have seeded life on Earth. But let's suppose for a moment that there were entities that preceded us. That doesn't answer anything. Who created them? Even these so-called gods must come from somewhere. Their existence wouldn't disprove God. It would only strengthen the need for a first cause, a supreme creator, an uncreated being outside of time and space. And that's exactly how Christianity defines God. To deny God because you don't understand him is like refusing to believe in the sun because you've never walked on it. The atheist position is not based on evidence. It's based on defiance, a rejection not of God's existence, but of his authority. The very fact that you're hearing this message means you're part of the few who dare to question the deception that dominates the modern world. But messages like this are fragile in a world where truth is seen as dangerous. This kind of content is shadow banned, silenced, and ridiculed, not because it's false, but because it exposes too much. If you find this valuable, don't let it disappear into the void. A simple like, comment, or share tells the system this matters. And perhaps, just perhaps, that act might bring a soul back to truth. And remember, to bring souls to the truth is to gather treasure in heaven. God will not forget. The devil's playground, flattering the minds of the proud. It's no accident that atheism thrives in times of vanity. Today's world idolizes intelligence, but only the kind that fits the narrative. University students and young intellectuals are desperate to be seen as smart, progressive, independent thinkers. And so, with tragic irony, they all repeat the same cliché. There is no God. What they don't realize is that this idea, the denial of God, is one of the oldest lies in history. It's the very whisper the serpent gave Eve. You shall be as gods. The devil no longer needs horns and fire. He has found a new disguise. The voice of the rational professor, the scientific influencer, the enlightened debater. But the goal is the same: cut man off from his creator. The evil one flatters the ego of man, telling him that he is too smart for religion, too advanced for worship, too sophisticated for prayer. But as he chases the illusion of self-made wisdom, man is led away from the source of all wisdom. And once the soul is disconnected from its creator, it begins to rot. Depression, anxiety, suicide, moral decay. These are the symptoms of a humanity cut off from its spiritual root. Many of today's youth are not truly atheists. They are victims of propaganda, of pride, of wounds never healed. They do not reject God because they sought him and found nothing. They reject him because they were told they'd look stupid if they didn't. Atheism is not intellectual maturity, it is spiritual adolescence. Part 3. The illusion of progress. When evolution becomes regression. Modern man boasts of progress, of having outgrown the childish fairy tales of religion. But what has this progress brought us? A world where gender is undefined, morality is subjective, and truth is negotiable. A world where killing unborn children is called freedom, and perversion is celebrated as courage. This is not evolution, it is devolution. To deny the existence of a creator is not to move forward, but to spiral backward into chaos. What's more, the attempt to replace God with science is a failure. Science, real science, is a method of discovering how the universe works. It was born in monasteries and nurtured by Christian minds. But science cannot tell us why we exist, what love means, or why beauty moves us to tears. It can't explain why we long for justice, or why we know deep inside that evil is real. The atheist may scoff, but his soul still weeps in the dark when no one is watching. He still loves, he still hopes, he still mourns. Why? Where do these things come from, if not from a soul? To say we are simply walking chemicals is the ultimate insult to the human heart. Part 4. The parable of the burglar. Denial does not protect you. Imagine this. It's midnight. A man lies in his bed and hears the shattering of glass. A burglar has entered his house. But the man, instead of reacting, closes his eyes and mutters, "There's no such thing as burglars. This is just a myth used to scare children. I'm going back to sleep." And so, while he sleeps in denial, the thief robs him of everything. This is precisely what many do with God and with the devil. They say, "He doesn't exist. It's all just superstition." And so they continue sleeping while their soul is being looted. Their refusal to believe does not protect them. It simply leaves them defenseless. The greatest trick of the devil is not witchcraft or horror movies. It is this: to convince you that he doesn't exist. That way he can corrupt your soul in peace without resistance. But let us be clear. Your belief does not create or destroy truth. God exists whether you accept him or not. Christ will judge whether you prepare or not. The war for your soul is real, whether you see it or not. And on the day when all lies fall silent, only one question will matter. Did you seek truth, or did you sleep through the break-in? If this message stirred something in you, don't let it end here. In a world where lies are echoed and truth is silenced, your interaction matters deeply. This type of content walks a dangerous path. It dares to speak what others won't. This channel could be silenced at any time. And if it disappears, many who needed these truths may never find them. A simple like, comment, or share tells the algorithm, "This matters." But more than that, it could bring a soul, a lost, searching soul, closer to the light of Christ. And for every soul you help bring to truth, your reward in heaven multiplies.